Uh, okay, I may as well start this um, just because it's difficult to like really describe the nature of. Hi, my name is Tori. For my senior thesis, I'm investigating the logistic map. Specifically, I'm investigating chaos theory because I think chaos theory is really cool. I love the butterfly effect. I love, you know, um, the double pendulum experiment. I think it's all really cool. And I think the logistic map is something really easy to tackle for me because I've already made a project on it, kind of myself, in high school, way back when. And I definitely would love to revisit it. But eventually, my focus is on the logistic map, which is a deceptively simple equation. In fact, it is just, it's only a first order equation. However, it is, of course, a dynamic equation because you iterate it on itself. So x of x1 is f of x of 0, and x2 is f of x of 1, and x3 is f of x of 2, and so on and so forth. So in order to do this, you would need to iterate a value and then make your new value the function of your previous value. So as you can see, the function is just zx, and then times open parentheses 1 minus x. Obviously, x 1 minus x is just a simple parabola. I mean, like, if we multiply this out, this is x minus x squared, I believe. Yes. So yeah, it's just a first order equation, and then of course all of this, I guess, times r, which is our growth variable. This equation is used to plot population growth under different values of r. So for example, obviously if your growth rate is less than 1, it will shrink forever, but if it's more than 1, then interesting things happen. So for example, if my growth rate is at 1.91, my population seems to stay at around 47% full the entire time. But something interesting happens when we move our growth rate up at around 3 point something, actually. It splits. And now suddenly when we run the equation over and over again, and I am having this run 1,000 times every second, it splits and stays stably in 2 different locations. And that's really interesting, because why would it do that? Of course, the logistic map talks about this, this whole Wikipedia page talks about this much better. As you can see here, this is showing exactly, oh god. Oh boy. This is showing exactly what the logistic map looks like in terms of the period cycles. So the 20th generation, the 80th generation, the 100th generation, after a certain point in time. And this is already very, 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 very well documented. I still want to do it though, because I have never successfully fully completed this project for myself. I have never fully documented and simulated and made a whole program in itself. And apparently when the most interesting thing about this equation is that as you move closer to 4, it splits again, and then as you move it forward, it splits again, and then eventually just becomes completely chaotic. And this is where the chaos theory comes from, because how the hell are you supposed to how the hell are you supposed to simulate this? I mean, not simulate this, but how the hell are you supposed to predict what's happening here based on these fixed numbers? Of course, the only way really is to simulate it out, so that's what I'm doing. But I don't know, I find that really interesting. Now, I've made a more dogmatic, a more robust version of this simulation over here that maps out what the period cycles are as you increase z over time, or I guess your rate r, and that's and this is kind of what it looks like, from far away and from very pretty. But of course, you will find much, much, much better simulations down here. and it's a very, very beautiful equation. Apparently, the level of chaos can be measured by something called a Lyapunov variable, which tells you at any given point how sensitive the system is to its starting conditions. So apparently what that does, it's taking the derivative of your function, and this tells you how stretchy the map is at that point. But yeah, that's basically my project. I want to map out, like, basically, I want to make a map that, like, shows all the specific, like, chaotic parts, and then also to investigate other things about it, like, what's, like, the ratio of how fast things get chaotic as you move up the board. Like, can you measure the level of chaoticness, if that makes sense? But yeah, that's my senior project and stuff. Yeah, bye.